Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the hidden universe behind the purple curtain. When the blinding stage lights dim and the roar of the stadium fades into a distant echo, the seven kings of K-pop return to being human, and in that high-pressure backstage world, a secret hierarchy of affection exists that cameras rarely capture in full. We are diving deep into the unspoken electric bond between the global superstars of BTS and the unsung heroines of Hybe, the female staff, the makeup artists, the stylists, and the managers who see everything. You have seen the viral clips of gentle head pats, the playful teasing during touch-ups, and those fleeting moments of domesticity. But do you truly know who holds the crown as the ultimate staff favorite? Is it the charming Maknae who evokes fierce maternal instincts? The charismatic leader who commands absolute respect? Or perhaps, a member whose gentlemanly manners and intense gaze make him feel less like an idol and more like a secret boyfriend? We have scoured thousands of hours of Bangtan bombs, deciphered subtle body language from behind-the-scenes footage, and analyzed the soft moments that mainstream media missed to bring you the definitive ranking. The tension is palpable, the evidence is undeniable, and the revelations might just break your bias list. Who is the true king of hearts when the PD says cut? Who gets the extra snacks, the longer massages, and the softest smiles from the newness? Prepare your hearts, Army, because we are about to reveal the ranking of the members most pampered by the female staff, leading up to a #1 spot that is so domestic it hurts. Are you ready to uncover the truth? Let the countdown begin! Number 7. RM. The god of destruction who needs a guardian angel, the leader's duality, a clumsy intellectual who breaks everything but hearts. Let us begin this odyssey of affection with the man who carries the weight of the entire world on his broad shoulders, yet somehow manages to lose his passport in the blink of an eye, the charismatic leader, RM. Placing Kim Namjoon at number 7 might shock you initially, considering his overwhelming charm and that physique that has recently become the talk of the town. But allow us to dissect the unique psychology of the pampering he receives, which is fundamentally different from the rest of the group. The dynamic between RM and the female staff is a fascinating study in contrast, a mix of high-stakes damage control and profound, reverence-filled adoration. You see, while the other members might be pampered with baby talk or playful pinches on the cheek, the staff's attention toward RM is born out of a desperate, almost survivalist necessity to preserve the surroundings and the man himself. We all know the legend of the God of Destruction. This isn't just a funny nickname, it is a daily reality for the stylists and managers who hover around him like Secret Service agents, not just to make him look good, but to ensure he doesn't accidentally dismantle the set or snap his expensive sunglasses in half before the shoot even begins. Imagine the scene backstage. The atmosphere is chaotic, adrenaline is pumping, and there stands Namjoon, looking like a Greek statue in a Dior suit, exuding an aura of intellect and power that commands the room. But watch closely, zoom in on the details that the documentary cameras often blur out. There is a female stylist standing mere inches away, her hands hovering with hawk-like precision, ready to catch a falling microphone, a tumbling water bottle, or a piece of jewelry that he has unknowingly unclasped. This isn't just styling, this is guardianship. The pampering he receives is akin to a museum curator tending to a priceless, yet incredibly fragile artifact. When a button pops off his shirt because of his unexpected strength, the staff doesn't just sigh. They rush in with a flurry of needles and threads, surrounding him in a protective circle. And in those moments, Namjoon transforms from the fierce leader into a sheepish, apologetic giant. He freezes, afraid to move a muscle, whispering, "Sorry," and "Thank you," with that deep, dimpled smile that instantly melts any frustration the staff might feel. This is where the emotional connection deepens. The female staff don't baby him because he acts cute. They pamper him because his clumsiness reveals a raw human vulnerability beneath the superstar exterior. It triggers a nurturing instinct that is less about cooing and more about saving. Furthermore, we must talk about the respect barrier. The reason he sits at number 7 isn't a lack of love, far from it, but rather the aura of intimidation he naturally projects. RM is the general. He is the one communicating with presidents and CEOs. This creates a slight professional distance. The staff adores him, yes, but there is a trembling respect there. They pamper him by ensuring his environment is perfect so he can lead. When they blot the sweat from his forehead, it is done with a surgical precision and a deferential silence, unlike the chaotic playfulness they might have with the younger members. However, do not mistake this professionalism for coldness. There are moments specifically caught in the Memories DVDs where the boyfriend vibes leak through. Picture this. RM exhausted after a 3-hour concert, sitting in the makeup chair, sweat dripping down his neck. A female staff member gently places a cold towel on his shoulders and begins to massage his tense trapezius muscles. He closes his eyes, lets out a low groan of relief, and tilts his head back. In that split second, the power dynamic shifts. He becomes the tired partner coming home, and the staff member becomes the source of comfort. It is intimate, it is quiet, and it is incredibly heavy with unspoken gratitude. The staff ensures he has his iced Americano exactly how he likes it, not just because it's their job, but because they know he fuels the entire team's energy. They fix his hair with a lingering touch, making sure every strand frames that intellectual face perfectly, knowing that millions will scream for him. But they are the ones who made him ready. The pampering here is a service of honor. They spoil him by handling the mundane details of life that his genius brain often skips over. Did he leave his phone in the waiting room? A staff member has it. Did he untie his shoelaces again? A stylist is already kneeling to tie them before he trips. It is a relationship defined by acts of service as a love language. While he may not get the squealy, high-pitched babying of the Maknae line, the way the female staff looks at him when he delivers a speech, eyes shining with pride, hands clasped over their hearts, proves that he is deeply, deeply cherished. He is their clumsy king, and they are his loyal knights, armed with hairspray and safety pins, ensuring his reign remains flawless. So, while he ranks 7th on the pampered like a baby boyfriend scale due to the high level of professional respect and his own independence, the quality of care he receives is intense, vital, and grounded in a deep desire to protect the leader who protects everyone else. It's a sophisticated kind of love, one that says, "You save the world, we'll save you from tripping over that cable." But if the leader commands this level of devoted service, now imagine what happens when we move to a member whose grumpiness is just a mask for a heart of gold. Who could possibly be next? Number 6. Suga. The tsundere cat who secretly craves warmth, the quiet genius of Daegu, a master of silent affection who melts hearts with a gummy smile. Moving down our list to number 6, we encounter the enigma, the walking paradox, the man who famously said he wants to be born as a rock in his next life, yet captures the hearts of every female staff member with a lethargic charm that is absolutely fatal. Min Yoongi, otherwise known as Suga. Placing Suga at number 6 is a strategic decision that requires a deep understanding of his complex personality, because the pampering he receives is unique. It is a game of push and pull, a delicate dance between a grumpy cat and its affectionate owners who are dying to pet it, but know they might get scratched. The atmosphere around Suga backstage is starkly different from the chaos surrounding the Maknae line. It is a zone of hushed tones, calm efficiency, and a profound, silent understanding. The female staff members adore him, not because he asks for attention, in fact, he actively avoids it, but because his resistance makes the moments of surrender so incredibly rewarding. Imagine the scene in the waiting room. While other members are playing games or practicing vocals, Yoongi is almost certainly curled up on a sofa or sitting motionless in a chair, eyes closed, conserving every ounce of energy. Here, the pampering takes the form of protection of peace. The female staff become the guardians of his slumber. You will see them tiptoeing around him, shushing loud conversations, and gently draping a blanket over his shoulders with the lightness of a feather so as not to wake him. It is a tender, almost maternal care that stems from seeing how hard he works in the studio until dawn. They know his exhaustion is the result of his genius, so they spoil him by gifting him the one thing he craves most: silence. But don't let the grandpa image fool you. There is a distinct boyfriend vibe hidden in his interactions during makeup and styling sessions that drives the staff crazy in the best way possible. When he sits in the makeup chair, he is the picture of compliance. He barely moves. He tilts his chin up when asked, closes his eyes when told, and offers zero resistance. The makeup artists have gone on record, anonymously, of course, praising his porcelain skin, often joking that he needs the least amount of work, yet they spend the most time hovering over him. Why? Because interacting with Suga is calming. In a chaotic industry, he is the anchor. There is a specific intimacy when a female stylist is fixing his microphone pack or adjusting his collar. Suga doesn't flinch, he doesn't giggle. He just stands there with that stoic, heavy-lidded gaze that screams, "I trust you." It's that trust that makes the staff melt. He isn't the type to say, "Nuna, get me water," with Aegyo. Instead, he will silently stare at a water bottle across the room, and before he can even lift a finger, a staff member has already uncapped it and placed it in his hand. It's telepathic. They read his micro-expressions. A slight furrow of the brow? The stylist immediately loosens his tie. A shift in weight? They bring him a chair. This relationship is defined by the tsundere dynamic. He acts indifferent, cool, and sometimes even annoyed by the fuss, brushing off compliments with a scoff. But the staff knows the truth. They see the tiny, gum-bearing smile he tries to hide when they praise his visuals. They see how he patiently waits for them to finish fixing a complex harness without complaining, even if it's uncomfortable. There is a famous behind-the-scenes clip where a staff member is fanning him aggressively after a high-energy performance of mic drop. He looks like a king on his throne, accepting the service not with arrogance, but with a quiet nod of acknowledgement that says, "Good work." That subtle validation is addictive for the staff. Furthermore, Suga's pampering is often food-centric, but in a reverse way. He is often the one feeding others, but when the staff brings him his favorite iced Americano, even in freezing winter, the look of pure salvation on his face is a reward in itself. They spoil him by knowing his specific, peculiar preferences without him having to speak. They know he hates loud, startling noises, so they approach him softly. They know he dislikes sticky sprays, so they shield his face with extra care. It is a relationship built on deep observation. However, he lands at number 6 because of his independence. Min Yoongi is a self-sufficient man. If he sees a staff member struggling with a heavy bag, he is the type to silently take it from them and walk away without making a scene. He doesn't need the pampering to function, and he often sets boundaries. If the babying gets too much, he will give that signature judging look that instantly makes the staff back off, laughing nervously. He controls the level of affection he receives. He is not a doll to be played with, he is a partner to be respected. The female staff treat him like a difficult but beloved cat. You provide the best food, the softest bed, and you scratch him behind the ears only when he decides it's okay. And when he does decide it's okay, when he leans into a touch or cracks a joke to lighten the mood, the staff is absolutely whipped. It is the thrill of earning the affection of the most stoic member that makes caring for him so satisfying. They pamper him because breaking through that cold exterior reveals the warmest, most loyal heart in Bangtan. He is the ultimate challenge with the ultimate reward, a man who makes the staff feel like they are part of his inner circle simply by allowing them into his personal space. But if the cat of BTS commands this silent, respectful adoration, what happens when we move to the member who is the literal embodiment of sunshine, whose pampering is loud, chaotic, and full of laughter? Number 5. J-Hope. The human vitamin who recharges everyone, the dance commander with a heart of glass, a fashion icon who turns every hallway into a runway of love. Strap yourselves in because we are escalating the energy levels to the maximum voltage with the man who shines brighter than the stadium floodlights, the literal son of the group, Jung Hoseok, alias J-Hope. Placing J-Hope at number 5 is a testament to one of the most symbiotic, high-energy, and genuinely heartwarming relationships in the entire K-pop industry. The dynamic between J-Hope and the female staff is less about pampering a helpless idol and more about worshipping the source of their joy. If RM is the respected general and Suga is the sleepy cat, J-Hope is the golden retriever who learns how to open doors just to greet you. The pampering he receives is a direct reflection of the love he pours out. It is the law of equivalent exchange. J-Hope gives 110% energy to the staff, screaming, fighting, and dancing to make them laugh during 4 a.m. shoots. And in return, the female staff smother him with an aggressive, enthusiastic affection that borders on fandom behavior. They spoil him because he is the mood maker. Without him, the backstage atmosphere risks collapsing into exhaustion, so the staff treats him like a precious battery that must never run out of charge. But let's zoom in on the specific flavor of this pampering, because it has layers. There is the scaredy cat factor. We all know Hybe is easily startled bugs, heights, roller coasters, ghosts, or even a loud toast popping up. This vulnerability triggers a massive wave of protective instinct from the newness. When a moth flies too close to him during an outdoor shoot, you don't just see one staff member react. You see a SWAT team of stylists armed with hairspray and towels rushing to intercept the insect before it can make him scream. It's hilarious but deeply affectionate. They coo over him, reassuring him with, "It's okay, Hosak. We got it," treating him like a fragile prince who must be shielded from the harsh realities of nature. It's in these moments that the babying hits its peak. He clings to the staff, hiding behind them, and they stand tall, ready to fight a butterfly for him. However, the duality here is lethal. We must discuss the dance leader persona. When it comes to performance, J-Hope is terrifyingly professional. He notices every detail. The staff pampers him by being hyper-competent because they know he notices. But the boyfriend vibes? Oh, they are everywhere, hidden in the mundane. J-Hope is arguably the most attentive member. He notices if a staff member changes their hair color, if they got new nails, or if they look tired. He will casually drop a, "Oh Nuna, nice shoes," or "Did you eat yet?" with that blinding heart smile. This creates a feedback loop of affection. The female stylists times love, times dressing him up, because he is the ultimate fashionista who is willing to try anything. While other members might grumble about uncomfortable accessories or tight corsets, J-Hope gasps in delight, posing in the mirror telling the stylist, "Wow, you made me look so cool. Do you understand the power of that validation?" He turns the styling process into a collaboration. They pamper him by hunting down the rarest vintage pieces, the most unique jewelry, knowing he will appreciate the effort more than anyone else. There are moments caught on camera where he is simply standing there, letting the staff adjust his many accessories, and the look in his eyes is so gentle, so patient. He often helps them. He will hold the hairpins, he will lift his arms before they ask, he will tidy up the dressing room before leaving. He is the member who cleans up the water bottles. This makes the staff want to do more times for him because he never demands it. They massage his shoulders not just to loosen muscles, but to say, "Thank you for being so nice." The physical touch barrier is also lower with J-Hope. He is touchy-feely, often leaning on staff members' shoulders or grabbing their arms when laughing. It's a very best friend or playful boyfriend type of intimacy. Yet, the reason he sits at number 5 and not higher is that, like RM and Suga, he is hyper-independent. He is the mom of the group in many ways, often the one organizing the others. He doesn't need the staff to baby him to get through the day. He allows it because it's fun. The staff pampers him to keep the sunshine glowing because they know that if J-Hope dims, the whole team goes dark. It's a pampering born of gratitude. They bring him his favorite snacks, they fan him with extra vigor, and they laugh the loudest at his sound effects because he makes their difficult jobs feel like a party. There is a specific clip from a Bangtan bomb where he is tired, staring blankly into space, and a female staff member just silently starts fixing his bangs, brushing them back with such tenderness, and he leans into her hand like a sunflower turning toward the sun. It was a moment of pure trust. He is their joy, and they are his safety net. But as we climb higher, we are leaving the realm of respectful adoration and entering the zone of aggressive babying and undeniable heart-fluttering romance. If the sunshine of the group is only number 5, who on earth is number 4? Could it be the member who claims to be worldwide handsome and demands attention with the confidence of a king, yet acts like the youngest sibling when the cameras roll? Number 4. Jin. The worldwide handsome who demands a standing ovation, the fake Maknae with the shoulders of a giant, a king of dad jokes who treats the staff like family. Ladies and gentlemen, check your mirrors and prepare your hearts, because landing at number 4 is the man who turned self-confidence into a global brand, the visual anchor of BTS, Kim Seokjin. Placing Jin at number 4 is crucial, because the pampering he receives is a glorious, chaotic mix of exasperation and absolute devotion. While RM gets respect and Suga gets peace, Jin gets times indulgence asterisk. The relationship between Jin and the female staff is arguably the most entertaining reality show within the Hybe building. It is not a quiet reverence, it is a loud, bustling exchange of energy. Jin acts like the mischievous royalty who wants his grapes peeled, but he does it with such a charming twinkle in his eye that the staff practically races to peel them for him. Let's talk about the visual maintenance dynamic. Jin famously calls himself worldwide handsome, and the staff's job is to ensure that title remains undisputed. But here is the catch. Jin has the most perfect skin in the industry, a verified fact. The So the makeup artists aren't covering flaws, they are simply gilding the lily. However, the pampering comes in the form of validation. Jin will sit in the chair, look at himself in the mirror, and proclaim, "Ah, I'm so handsome today, it's blinding." And what does the staff do? They don't roll their eyes, well, maybe a little. They join in. "Yes, Seokjin, see, you are perfect," they chant, playing along with his skit. It is a shared joke that lightens the mood. But the real physical pampering happens with the styling, specifically the shoulder situation. Jin's shoulders are legendary, a geometric anomaly that defies standard sizing. Stylists have to custom tailor almost everything. You will often see a swarm of female staff fluttering around his upper back, measuring, pinning, and adjusting jackets that are tight across the chest but loose at the waist. In these moments, Jin stands tall, looking like a prince being dressed for coronation, often cracking jokes to make the stylists laugh while they struggle with the fabric. It's a very domestic scene. He complains, "Ah, this is too tight, I can't breathe." And the stylists fuss over him, loosening straps, patting his back, treating him like a giant baby who needs to be swaddled correctly. But the boyfriend vibe with Jin is unique. It's the long-term relationship vibe. He nags, he bickers, he tells the staff, "Don't put that spray, I hate the smell." Or, "Where is my gaming phone?" It's a comfortable, lived-in intimacy. He isn't afraid to show his grumpy side to them because he trusts them implicitly. And the staff? They treat him like a lovable, high-maintenance partner. They know exactly when he is hangry, hungry, and angry. There is a famous phenomenon known as "eat Jin" backstage. The moment a shoot cuts, if Jin looks even slightly energy depleted, a female staff member inevitably appears with a skewer, a steak, or a bowl of noodles. They feed him. Literally. There are clips where his hands are occupied with a game or a fan, and a stylist is carefully bringing a straw to his lips or feeding him a piece of chocolate. It creates a visual that drives fans wild, the handsome superstar being hand-fed like a toddler. But why do they do it? Because Jin feeds them back. He is known for using his personal black card to buy expensive meals for the entire staff. He remembers their birthdays. He asks about their lives. This reciprocity creates a deep emotional bond. They pamper him because he treats them like humans, not servants. When he engages in his old man hobbies, like fishing or playing MapleStory, the staff listens to his endless rants about the game with the patience of saints. They guard his gaming time ferociously. You will see staff members standing guard while he plays on his phone, ensuring no one interrupts his leveling up process. It's hilarious but sweet. Furthermore, we must address the protection of the ears. Jin gets red ears easily when he is embarrassed or hot. The makeup artists are constantly monitoring the temperature of his ears. You will see them gently fanning his ears or applying cooling packs with a level of tenderness that is reserved for newborn babies. It is a specific quirk that the staff finds adorable. He might be the oldest, but in the hands of the newness, he is the one who needs the most reassurance. When he gets nervous before a solo ballad, the playful atmosphere vanishes, and the staff surrounds him, whispering words of encouragement, fixing his in-ear monitors with shaking hands, ensuring he feels safe. The fake Maknae title is real. He whines to the staff, "My legs hurt," or "It's too cold," and they immediately rush to comfort him with blankets and massages. But, unlike the actual Maknaes, Jin knows exactly what he is doing. He uses his neediness to make the staff feel needed. He empowers them by letting them take care of him. It's a psychological masterclass. He ranks at number 4 because while the pampering is intense and constant, it's balanced by his role as the pillar of the group. He is the one who drives the members around, the one who cooks. The staff knows that at the end of the day, Jin is the adult in the room. But for those precious hours in the dressing room, they let him be the prince who complains about the pee under his mattress, and they love him for it. He is the chaotic, loud, handsome heartbeat of the backstage area, and the staff wouldn't have it any other way. But now, as we move into the top 3, the air changes. We are leaving the world of playful bickering and entering a realm of pure, unadulterated babying. The next member is not just pampered, he is raised times by the staff. He is a creature of pure instinct, charm, and unpredictability. Who could possibly be more spoiled than worldwide handsome? Number 3. V. The Renaissance prince who must be protected at all costs, the social butterfly who charms without trying, a living doll who turns staff into doting older sisters. Enter the world of Kim Taehyung, the visual phenomenon known as V, landing at number 3 with a pampering profile that is equal parts exhausting and endearing. If you thought the other members were high maintenance, V operates in a dimension of his own, and the female staff loves him for it. The relationship between Taehyung and the Hybe staff is best described as taming the wild baby bear. He isn't demanding like a diva, he is simply times restless, creative, and impulsive. This behavior triggers a massive collective mothering instinct among the female staff that is fascinating to observe. Picture a typical backstage scene. The camera is rolling, the countdown is on, and where is Taehyung? He is likely chasing a stray dog he found, or lying on the floor staring at a ceiling fixture, or trying to wear his tie as a headband. The staff doesn't scold him, they flock to him. You will see a coordinator gently taking his hand. Yes, hand-holding is very common here to guide him back to his chair as if he were a toddler lost in a supermarket. This physical guidance is a huge part of his pampering. V is incredibly tactile. He leans his entire body weight onto the makeup artists, resting his chin on their shoulders while they try to apply foundation. He hugs the stylists from behind when he is cold. He plays with their hair while they fix his. This breaks down the idle staff barrier completely. The female staff members pamper him because he initiates a level of physical closeness that feels innocent and trusting. They spoil him by allowing this invasion of personal space, often seen laughing and patting his back while he uses them as a human pillow. But let's discuss the visual shock factor. V is often cited by staff, in anonymous interviews and blogs, as the member who looks most unreal in person. This beauty creates a muse dynamic. The makeup artists and stylists don't just do their job, they treat his face and body like a canvas they are honored to touch. There is a tangible reverence in the way they handle him. When they brush his hair, it's with slow, deliberate strokes. When they adjust his jewelry, they linger to make sure it catches the light perfectly. Why? Because V knows how to work with them. He poses for them. He makes funny faces in the mirror to make them giggle. He is the type to suddenly grab a camera and start taking photos of the staff, telling them they look beautiful. This reversal of roles makes the staff feel incredibly special. They pamper him by hunting down the most eccentric, high-fashion pieces, the feather boas, the massive flower corsages, the vintage brooches because they know only V can pull them off. They indulge his fashion experiments. If V wants to wear mismatched shoes or a skirt, the staff doesn't say, "No, that's weird." They say, "Let's make it work." Taehyung, and they move mountains to customize the look for him. It is a partnership of creativity, where they spoil his artistic whims. However, the baby bear narrative is the strongest driver of his ranking. V has a specific way of speaking the Tata mic energy where he mumbles or uses unique grammar, Tai language. When he does this, the female staff visibly melts. They lean in close to understand him, speaking to him in soft, high-pitched voices usually reserved for puppies. "What do you need? Water? Jelly?" They anticipate his cravings. V has a sweet tooth and a specific palate, and a disdain for coffee, so you will often see staff members carrying strawberry juice or chocolate snacks specifically for him. They protect his dietary preferences fiercely. If the group is eating spicy food, a staff member is already prepping a non-spicy alternative for V without him asking. It's that level of detailed care. Moreover, V is sensitive. He wears his heart on his sleeve. If he makes a mistake on stage or feels down, he doesn't hide it. The staff sees this vulnerability and swarms him. They become his emotional support team. You will see them fanning him not just to cool him down, but to distract him, cracking jokes, making funny faces behind the camera to get that boxy smile to reappear. They treat his happiness as their primary mission. There is also the sleeping beauty aspect. Taehyung can sleep anywhere. The staff pampers him by becoming his human alarm clocks, but the gentlest times kind. While they might shake the other members awake, for V, they whisper, they nudge, they gently stroke his arm. It's a soft awakening because they know a grumpy V is a sad V. The level of tolerance the staff has for his antics is sky high. If he accidentally spills juice on a white shirt 5 minutes before stage, which has happened, they don't panic. They laugh, they sigh. "Oh Taehyung," and they fix it with a smile. He is their beloved troublemaker. The pampering is intense because V makes them feel like they are part of his world, his family. He looks at them with those soulful, large eyes and says, "Thank you, Nuna," with such sincerity that they would probably fight a war for him. He ranks at number 3 because while he is babied, he is also an artist who collaborates with them. But as we move to the top 2, the dynamic shifts again. We are leaving the eccentric artist and entering the realm of the golden Maknae who grew up in their arms, and a certain member whose boyfriend vibes are so potent they are practically illegal. Who could possibly be more spoiled than the Prince of Daegu? Number 2. Jungkook, the golden Maknae raised by the industry, the muscle bunny who is forever baby-ed, a global superstar who still gets his shoes tied by Nunas. We have arrived at the phenomenon, the paradox, the one and only Jeon Jungkook. Placing Jungkook at number 2 is a decision driven by the sheer scale and longevity of the pampering he receives. While number 1 might give off boyfriend vibes, Jungkook receives royal baby treatment, which is a completely different, perhaps even more intense category of love. You have to understand the history here. Jungkook entered Big Hit when he was 15 years old. The female makeup artists, stylists, and managers didn't just see a trainee, they saw a child away from home. They became his surrogate family. This dynamic has crystallized over a decade and refuses to shatter, regardless of how grown up he becomes. The pampering is foundational. Let's talk about the feeding agenda. There is a running joke in the fandom that Jungkook is always eating, but look closely at how times he gets the food. He rarely gets it himself. In countless Bangtan bombs, you will see female staff members appearing out of thin air to slide a snack into his hand, open a water bottle, and place a straw in it before bringing it to his lips, or even wiping crumbs off his face. It is indistinguishable from a mother tending to her toddler. There is a legendary clip where he is getting his makeup done, eyes half closed, and he simply opens his mouth like a baby bird, and a stylist feeds him a piece of fruit. He doesn't ask, he just expects it, and they deliver with a smile that says, "Eat well, our Jungkookie." This is service of nurturing. But the most visual representation of his ranking is the Shoelace Chronicles. Jungkook is a grown man perfectly capable of tying his own shoes. Yet, time and time again, we see female stylists kneeling on the floor to tie his shoelaces for him while he stands there, looking around, humming a tune, or playing on his phone. It drives the Delulu fans crazy, but for the staff, it's efficiency mixed with adoration. They don't want him to bend over and ruin his outfit, sure, but there is also a clear desire to spoil him. They treat him like a doll. When he is sweaty after a performance, the way the Nunas swarm him is different from the other members. With RM or Suga, they are efficient and respectful. With Jungkook, they are cooing. They fan him aggressively. They blot his sweat with a worry in their eyes that asks, "Are you okay? Do you need air?" They baby him because they have seen him collapse from exhaustion in the past, and that trauma has created a protection squad mentality. They guard his physical well-being with the ferocity of a lioness. Then there is the sleeping beauty factor, much like V, but with Jungkook, it involves more chaos. Jungkook is famous for falling asleep in the most uncomfortable places under tables, on sofas, in the middle of a makeup session. The staff's reaction is pure comedy and love. They become human shields. They will form a wall around him so cameras don't wake him up, unless they are filming it for content, of course. They will contort their bodies to apply eyeliner while he is nodding off, moving with his rhythm so they don't poke him. It is a dance of absolute patience. And let's not forget the teasing dynamic. Jungkook loves to imitate the staff. He mocks their frantic movements or their nagging voices. Any other idol might get a stern look, but when Jungkook does it, the staff dissolves into laughter. He is the exception to every rule. If he wants to wear his bucket hat so low he can't see, the stylist sighs but lets him. If he wants to cut his own bangs and ruins them, the hair team screams in horror but then spends hours fixing it while he giggles. They forgive him instantly. Why? Because he is the golden Maknae. His happiness is the barometer for the room. However, the reason he is number 2 and not number 1 is the shift in dynamic. While they baby him, there is a distinct lack of romantic tension. It is pure, platonic, familial love. When he looks at the staff, he looks at them with the wide, trusting eyes of a younger brother. He relies on them completely. He will whine, "Nuna, I'm hungry," or "Nuna, this itches," without a shred of embarrassment. He exposes his vulnerability to them because he knows he is safe. The staff pampers him because they are proud of him. They remember the shy boy who wouldn't sing, and now they are powdering the nose of the biggest pop star on the planet. Every touch of the makeup brush, every adjustment of his collar is a silent message of, "You did well, you grew up well." It is a pampering heavy with history and sentiment. They spoil him because they can't help it. To them, he will never be the sexy, abs-flashing icon the world sees. He will always be the kid with the bunny teeth who needs help putting on his backpack. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a bond that no amount of fame can break. But if the universal son is number 2, who takes the crown? Who transcends the baby role to become the boyfriend? Who makes the staff blush, giggle, and question their professionalism with just one look? The king of charm is coming. Ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your hearts, grab a defibrillator, and prepare for the ultimate revelation. We have ascended the mountain of affection, bypassed the respectful leaders, the sleepy geniuses, the chaotic brothers, and the golden babies to arrive at the absolute summit of our hierarchy. This is it, the number 1 spot. The holy grail of pampering. If the previous members were loved like family, the man sitting on this throne is loved like a time-secret romance asterisk. We are entering the danger zone, a territory where professional boundaries blur under the weight of sheer, unadulterated charisma. This member possesses a weapon so lethal it should be illegal, a natural breathing charm that makes every female staff member feel like the main character in a romance drama. The atmosphere around him isn't just caring, it is time's electric asterisk. He doesn't just receive service, he invites devotion. He is the master of the soft gaze, the king of gentle touching, and the owner of a voice that sounds like honey dripping over diamonds. When he is in the makeup chair, the air changes. The giggles are louder, the blushes are deeper, and the attention to detail is obsessive. The staff doesn't just want to finish the job, they want to prolong the interaction. He is the only member who can make a seasoned stylist with 20 years of experience stutter just by saying, "Thank you. Who is this enchantress?" Who is the man that makes the Nunas weak in the knees and creates a backstage dynamic that feels less like work and more like a date? The answer is the man born in Busan, the fairy of BTS. Are you ready to meet your number 1? Number 1. Jimin? The angel who flirts with existence, the king of hearts who turns staff into blushing schoolgirls, a living mochi whose pampering feels like a K-drama romance. Surrender your hearts because we have crowned the king of affection, the one and only Park Jimin. Placing Jimin at number 1 is the only logical conclusion when you analyze the sheer density of romantic tension and devoted service that surrounds him. While Jungkook is the baby you want to feed, Jimin is the boyfriend you want to impress. The dynamic between Jimin and the female staff is a masterclass in the art of seduction, unintentional or not. Let us dissect the eye contact phenomenon. Unlike other idols who might look at their phone or the mirror while getting ready, Jimin looks at times the staff. There are countless behind-the-scenes moments where a makeup artist is working on his eyes, and he is staring right back into theirs with that intense, sultry, yet incredibly soft gaze. It is the Jimin effect. He acknowledges their existence as women, not just employees. This creates a psychological environment where the staff pampers him not out of duty, but out of a desire to please him. They treat him with a delicacy that borders on reverence. Watch closely how they touch his hair. It's not a quick brush, it's a slow, rhythmic grooming. They run their fingers through his locks to check the volume, but it looks suspiciously like they just want to touch his hair, and who can blame them? Jimin leans into these touches. He tilts his head like a contented cat, closing his eyes and letting a small, satisfied smile play on his lips. This feedback loop is addictive. The staff spoils him because his reaction is so visceral and rewarding. Then we have the softness factor. Jimin is known as the fairy for a reason. There is an aura of fragility mixed with elegance around him. The female staff members are constantly fixing his clothes, but notice how times they do it. When they adjust his collar or button his shirt, there is a lingering proximity. Jimin often stands very close, invading their personal space with a natural ease that screams intimacy. he doesn't back away. He whispers his requests. "Nuna, can you fix this?" He will say in that breathy, high-toned voice, and you can practically see the staff member's soul leaving her body. This is why he is. Number 1. He makes the pampering feel personal. He remembers small details about the staff if they change their perfume, if they look tired, and he comments on it. This reciprocity transforms the service into a relationship. He is the member most likely to be seen massaging the shoulders of a staff member who looks exhausted, flipping the script completely. This kindness makes the staff want to do more times for him. They hunt down his favorite accessories, the dangling earrings, the specific rings with the zeal of a lover buying a gift. They ensure his environment is perfect because he is the emotional anchor of the room. We must also talk about the protection of the mochi. When Jimin laughs, he throws his entire body around, he falls off chairs, he hits the person next to him, he disappears into his own sweater paws. The staff loves this. They treat him like a precious gem that might roll away. You will see female staff catching him before he falls, fixing his sweater so his paws are visible, because they know it's cute, and laughing along with him. But unlike with the others, there is a distinct flirty undertone to the teasing. Staff members will playfully scold him, and he will look up through his lashes with a pout that instantly wins the argument. It is the push and pull of a rom-com. He is the most pampered because he demands the most times emotional times attention. He is needy in a way that is incredibly attractive. He wants validation. "Do I look okay? Is this hair okay?" And the staff rushes to give it to him in waves. "You look beautiful, Jimin." "Ah," they chorus. The Bangtan bombs are filled with female staff fixing his makeup while he makes silly faces or dances specifically to make them laugh. He performs for them. Furthermore, the boyfriend vibe is cemented by his manners. Jimin is chivalrous. He helps staff carry things. He holds doors. But when he sits in the chair, he submits to their care completely. The contrast between his sharp, sexy stage persona and the giggly, soft fluffball backstage is the ultimate trap. The staff pampers him because they are, quite simply, charmed. They wipe his sweat with a tenderness that speaks volumes. They fix his mic pack with shaking hands. There is a famous clip where a stylist is fixing his hair, and he just stares at her in the mirror and smiles, and she has to look away and laugh because it's too much. That is the power of Park Jimin. He doesn't just get pampered, he gets times worshipped asterisk. He is the #1 most pampered member because he turns the mundane act of getting ready into a moment of connection. He makes every staff member feel like they are the only person in the room. He is the prince who lets you fix his crown, and in return, he gives you a smile that could start a war. He is the ultimate bias wrecker, even for the people who work for him. The hierarchy is complete. The truth is out. Jimin is the king of hearts, and the staff are his loyal, loving subjects who would happily brush his hair for all eternity.